It's a beautiful day on this part of the divide, and I know all over the country and even beyond. It's a great day. So it's a day for us to be happy, a day for us to rejoice. Now, the show is Conversation, and if you joined us last week, you understand that it was quite deep. We talked about femicide, and women were bothered. Women are still bothered, but I know that we're going to actually get changes reflected as the day goes on, as our lives move on. Well, on the table last week at the same time, a lot of things were brought on, and one of them is the reason why this thing is on the increase. And some people say that it's because the negotiating table is having different things on it at the moment. Girls are asking for so much, boys are asking for so much, and at the end of the day, we go into the marriage with the wrong contract minds, and at the end of the day, we also have issues falling out. Today, we want to look at that contractual table. What should we be considering before we say I do to ensure that we have a lovely relationship as the day rolls for us in our marriages, in our relationships? My name again is Elizabeth, and I'm not alone. I'll start from my far right to find out. Hello.
Hi, it's good to be here. My name is Deva Hamati, your mom, and I'm a media consultant.
Hello, my name is Tukumbo Giwamu and life coach with a time out technique and mom, wife, friend, sister and relationship talker.
Right, when I'm preparing to rearrange myself on the seats, we'll quickly go to you.
My name is Joe Panachi and it's good to be here this morning.
And a young man is with us. Okay.
My name is Yagi Benjamin TV. I am the Executive Director of Beyond Development for Africa's Youth Advancement Initiative. And it's good to be single and also...
Mingling.
Yeah.
Ready to mingle.
We're all single.
Okay, you say you're single.
Yes.
Are you ready to mingle?
Ready to mingle?
I'm ready to marry.
I like that.
Not just mingling. Yeah. We'll get to find out how ready is ready. But then, let's quickly go out and see. I actually thought maybe we could go out to have a conversation with people on the streets. But hey, I ran into an argument and I had to capture it. Hey, is it ready? Let's see it.
Why they look me? I sound like your husband.
Who be this? Get out, Jerry, you know rich.
Hey!
How are they? How far? I bring granola to. Hey, I'm not looking for my last Chevy. No, when is the deadline?
Misha, the thing where they shock me say, you guys drop in mind old men, like your father's mates.
Guy! Now soon I say I leave me for relationship.
Calm down.
Guy, she leave me high and dry, guy.
I'm
You pay me.
Sorry,
You pay
sorry,
me.
no best. Make her ask. What was she supposed to do? Wait for you. Ask. Hey, okay. Like, make I ask you. When we been in school, you be getting new house. As you did like this for this your life, I will take provide for your family. I will take provide for my fear.
Come of it, all this unnecessary talk about line they providing for the family, or the man must provide for the family. What is the woman doing as a wife? Why can't she provide?
Exactly. Every time be asking for the whole world. What do you bring to the table?
Thank you.
What do you bring to the table?
Thank you.
That's the problem. You see that table? That is the problem. That is the problem. See, the problem is the fact that you people want a woman that will do 50-50. 50-50 responsibility, sharing. Do this, you do this, I do this. How? You go wait for that. See that sharing, sharing formula. That is the problem.
Come on, VT. Those things are in the past. We are in a new era.
Bam!
You need to pick up bills.
Exactly.
Pick up bills.
If you don't want to marry a boyfriend that is broke, auntie, you guys bring something to the table as a wife.
Bring something to the table.
You need
See
my
the table on the
chest. Oh my chest.
How do you chest? You will die now.
It's not.
You die. I beg, give me
Come
that.
Okay. No. Okay, how did they say it again? Be calming down.
Okay, we are coming down now.
Be calming down.
Okay.
So while that was going on, the house already had their own. Please, I'm opening it up. I'm not going to talk. What did people argue about 50-50?
Well, I think it's, I don't know, I'm sorry, I always come off as so anti-Western. That's not the case. There are many things about Western culture that I appreciate. The feminist movement is the reason why I'm able to sit here today, wear trousers, talk on TV, and even have an opinion. So it's not like I'm completely anti-Western, but there are many things about Western concepts that I don't agree with, just as there are many things about even my culture that I don't agree with. I'm very opinionated. 50-50 to me is not a good concept for how to run a home. It started in the West, I think, particularly with the American thing. Social media made it go viral, and then we started trying to pull it this way. Women over there, their homes over there are usually run in such a way that one person goes to work and the other person stays home. Because for the most part, the average person cannot afford hired help. Not like we have it here where you have relatives. So one person has to stay home with the kids. One person has to go out and earn. And for the most part, it is still men that go out and do the earning while the mother stays home with the kids and does the homemaking.
Okay.
Now, it was the women that started pushing for the 50-50 over there because they didn't want men to just go to work and bring home money. They said, when you go home and you bring home money, we still expect you to parent. Don't come back and don't come close from work, come home and zone out and pretend as if the children are not yours. Or no, you will still parent. You still help me with one or two other things around the house. That's where that was coming from. But when we brought it this way, we were saying that women should also contribute 50% to the blah, 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 blah in the house. And I'm saying that for me, it doesn't work. Why? The man should bring 100%. The woman should also bring 100%.
Okay.
Both of you should bring 100% of what you are supposed to be doing in that relationship. So if the woman earns far more than the man, I would expect her to pick the bills.
No way.
No, but where will the man get the money from?
She shouldn't pick
No way.
the bills per se. Because for me,
I said if she's earning far more than the man.
No.
For me, I always say that, you see, when you're looking for love, first of all, I came up with these 3 P's that you should look for. Protection, provision, and productivity. You know, last
Okay, let me just wrap up my thought. The place where I think the woman should make significant financial contribution is if she's earning way more than the man. Till date, this is a conversation women run away from, but there are women that are breadwinners.
True.
They pay rent,
Yes,
they take themselves to hospital, they give birth, pay the hospital bill, pay the children's bills, buy clothes, buy food. They are essentially married to themselves, and the man is only there to make them pregnant. This thing is real,
And it's a no, and that is a no-no.
And I'm not saying that it is
That's
good,
a no-no.
but I'm saying that the only time it is acceptable for the woman to really take on bills is if she's earning far more than the. If the woman is working in Total or NNPC and the man is one civil servant at AMAC, who will pay more of the bills? Or you people will dumb down your lifestyle because it has to be the man that will bring the bills?
Then
So,
she'll be the man.
The way I'm,
She'll be the
but
man.
She'll be the man.
that's exactly what I'm
the house
saying.
husband, right?
And that's not healthy.
Whatever the marriage,
That's not healthy.
the marriage dynamic, the man should bring 100% of everything he's supposed to be in the marriage.
He will
The
never
woman should bring 100% of everything she's supposed to be in the marriage.
Okay.
100% this way, 100%
It will
this way,
never
and then you have
happen.
a solid marriage.
No way.
All right. So
And I'm not
Even
talking
though-
about
even though
money,
when
because Joy, you don't
because-
seem to get where
No,
I'm going.
it's no.
It's not money I'm talking about.
See, we watch now. They were talking about bringing something to the table. Let's assume money and all those things, right? So for me, is that you're looking for. They were talking about looking for who they're going to marry. Not even in the marriage.
Before I do.
You enter marriage, it's a different case.
Yes, before I do.
But before you do, I think you should. The man should be ready to foot everything.
No, I'm talking of inside
That's
marriage,
what-
not
that's
before
what-
marriage.
before I
So
do.
that's where we are
Yeah.
I was
different.
talking about
Before
the person
I
getting
do.
ready to go into this. So
Yes.
you go in with that preparation. That for the man is that I'm going to do everything.
Everything.
Look after you.
Yes.
You know, I'm going to
I am the
protect
head.
you. I'm going to provide for you, and I'm going to let you be you. Do you know? But when he gets into the marriage, you know, and of course, when he's
Story
finding
will
his
change.
wife, when he's looking for his wife, he will also look for someone that is considerate, who is constructive, who is extremely caring,
I'm productive.
who can actually calm down, listen to him. So these are little things. That's why she was talking about 100%. That's why I agree with the two different things she said of 100% of who he should be, 100% of who she should
Yes.
be, but not 100% of the provision.
Financial.
that
No,
I'm
no,
talking
no,
about. Yes.
that's not what I'm talking about.
Even though, of course, when you get into marriage, sometimes, like she said, you might be earning a lot more.
Yeah.
So I've never really been one for sharing information of
What you earn.
all of those kind of things.
But your money is your money,
my
right?
Oh yes, my money is my money.
And his money is our
His
money.
is our own money.
Yes. Yes.
However, it doesn't mean that I'm not
will
going to
not
bring
chip
money
in.
at all.
That's it.
Definitely, because like I told my daughter some time ago, I called her and I said, you know what? Now, there are too many things nowadays, like we're talking about the system now, where we're you know, the truth is that there's no 100% life that goes on and on. You know, even in the Bible that I read, Isaac went dug a pit, well, and found. All of a sudden, it dries up.
Yes.
You go somewhere, it dries up. So sometimes he may not have. Are you going to run because he doesn't have?
Nope.
No, because you're already in the marriage. I mean, so when you're not in the marriage, the guy now is one that will be looking, is she going to run when I don't have? So it's up to him to decide, how am I going to learn if she's going to run? When you're inside the marriage, chip in. When you're not inside the marriage, please open your eye. Shine your eye well.
I'm going to talk about before I do.
All right, go ahead.
That's what I'm going to say. Okay. I was brought up in a system that I always use myself as an example all the time, where the man is supposed to pay the bills, because that's what my dad said. And I will never forget before, and he always tell you, like when we're all sitting down and say, you men, he was particular about the men. There are two things, yes, there were two things that you have to do. You have to pay the rent. Either if you have money, you build the house. And school fees. That was what my father was particular about. He says if the man tends to do that, there's a bit of respect. Excuse me, when mothers are paying bills, children are looking at their fathers and saying, excuse me, don't patronize us. Because it's happening. Because they know who is paying the bills. So you can see that that foundation already is bad. So for me, before you do, I do. I will sit down. If he wants to run, he can run. But it is better you sit down. Can you foot certain bills? Can you do certain things? There's nothing wrong in the woman not having. Yeah. But the thing here is that if you even have a man who gives you when he has, when he doesn't have, it's easier to chip in. Because a man who does not give me, I will not give him. That's the honest truth. Look, I've been single for a very long time.
Oh, wow.
A very long time.
Oh, wow.
And one thing I always told myself, I'm not going to be desperate about getting married. Why?
Get the right thing.
Never go below your standards.
Yeah.
That thing is very key. A woman can decide that I can follow a man whose standard is high there, because after a while you get up there. But when the man is below and the woman is up there, she now becomes the man. So why do you want to dabble into a relationship where instead of you're supposed to be the man, you now become a woman? So before you do, I do. You shine your eyes and check and see if it's going to work.
Okay, what you're saying now, I just want to ask,
Yes.
Does it also apply to if a man is older or a man is younger? I mean, if a man is here by age and I'm here by age, I can marry him. But if a man is here and I'm here, like some women are...
No, with age, I always used to say, a man that was my age is still younger than me. That was my own perception.
Okay.
I used to think that when they're much older, they are more patient. That was my own perception.
And it's actually true.
Yeah, that was my own perception about life. But right now in Nigeria, age does not matter again. Wow. I don't think age matters. The issue is that can you put food on the table?
All right, that question I think you're asking Benjamin.
Yeah. So I've been patiently and listening carefully, and all I could hear was all the sociocultural issues affecting us in this generation, as well as the pressure that comes with it. So, and it has not been easy with the various dynamics that have been shared. I understand listening to Devan and listening to her also, I got a bit different perspective to what one should do before I say I do. And sincerely speaking, as a young man, all I could hear was, that means you're not ready to marry. That means, yeah, no, certainly that is what it is, because my full thought before now has always been, from my own perspective though, I've always believed in compromise, understanding, empathy. When she made mention of the 3 P's, provision, protection, as well as productivity, that's all what I've always centered into. And there should be understanding, there should be compromise, there should be empathy. Yeah. Very, very important. Where we, as maybe imagine I'm ready, or I think I'm ready to marry, and I meet someone that tells me that, imagine the pressure, first of all, the social cultural pressure that comes on the traditional right on marriage. Yes. I have to pay millions of naira.
I agree. Wow. For what? Yes, exactly. All the things you have to carry.
Everything I have, aside from even aside from the bride price. As all the things on the list right now, you know how much a bag of rice costs. Yes. You know how much a 20-liter palm oil costs, and where you see telling you bring 20 liters. So imagine
20
all
liters of palm oil.
Yes.
That it's even small.
I'm waiting for him to land.
Yeah. So imagine all this pressure that comes with that. That is one. And it is expected of me as a man from the cultural perspective. This is my obligation as a man. That is one. And then coming into where the productivity comes in. I want to marry someone that is productive, hardworking, and I don't want to marry a housewife.
Okay.
Not because I want her to share 50-50 with me, no. Yeah. We've gone past the time where you sit down at home and do what? What are you doing at home? Your mates are first ladies, your mates are
we don't call them housewife again, we call them domestic engineers.
Oh my God.
And I do mine is the devil's workshop.
Certainly, I didn't even see that though. But imagine all that comes with it. And as a gentleman that I am, and I'm anticipating to be a governor or president someday, and then, yes.
I like you.
Tradition is important.
Yeah, I go for functions and my wife is at home watching other women speaking. She can't even speak and all that. But the pressure now coming in, where the woman is expecting me to bring in to foot in all the bills, where you are actually working and there's a compromise where I feel we can be able to come in. Where you feel the pressure is much on me, empathize, come in and support me. That's why you're my supporter. Yes. That's why you're there for me. Okay. But where you see it and you feel I am a man, I don't need all the support, that is wrong. I think that's one of the wrong teachings we've been getting these days. Because I'm a gentleman, he should be able to foot every part of your bills. If he's unable to do that, he is not ready to settle with you. For me, I feel it's completely wrong, and it's the wrong teachings that pushes a lot of mental pressure these days. A lot of young men.
Okay, now beyond this one you're mentioning, what are the other pressures that are making men run away from girls? I mean, run away from ladies who are ready for marriage, physiologically looking, and then you're ready, but you're scared of taking that giant leap, because a lot of men those days they used to marry in their 20s, mid-20s, and now I'm getting people in their 40s getting married. What is that problem?
So as I made mention, empathy first of all. Most young ladies these days are not emotionally ready for marriage.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am sure. In the sense that actually my perspective though, but I feel from what we've observed, you check the data on the young divorcees, not even young people that have just gotten married within few months and the marriage has gone apart. You will discover that most of them, very little things that you have to compromise on. but emotionally you're not ready. You feel because of the pressure, this same pressure that we're talking about. Your friends are expecting you to meet to these standards. You're expected to, yes, your man should buy you this car at this particular point in time. He should take you on shoppings. He should be, every day. I saw some videos yesterday on social media where someone was saying she wants to be waking up every day to breakfast in bed, bouquet, flowers, and all that. Do you know what that means? The pressure.
When he was dating her, was he doing that?
So no, that's the problem. Most of these people are not even. They were not even doing that. They never even got all those things. But because of the pressure receiving from their friends, they are seeing. Imagine I see Devan's husband doing something like that, or Devan will now decide to say, you tell your husband should maybe measure up. He has to keep to standards. Young men these days, this is what they do. You must go for vacation once in a year or twice in a year. You must go for shopping. You must change your wardrobes and all that. Imagine, yeah, quite all right. Maybe let's say I'm working at NNPC or one of those great organizations where they pay well. So imagine all that, and I'm able to meet up. But the pressure will still come down on me. I'm paying the bills. I'm doing all that I'm supposed to do. Imagine if I don't compromise to all her biddings. What happens at the end of the day? These are some of the pressures, not just because people are not ready. People want someone that will be empathic. People want someone that will protect them also. The men are not just the ones that has to be protected. Yes, we want someone to stand by us at various points in time. Protect me. Where I'm weak, stand by me. Not that when it's time for you, you see maybe my salary or I have lost my job or my savings is low, then you start giving me attitude. You start pushing me away, and all that comes to it. No, it's,
all right.
it's not worth
So before I get to have Devon respond to that, which he wanted to do earlier, I don't know. Can we take a break briefly and then return?
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we sway in colors, we turn dark into light, we make solutions, we ignite passion, yeah. Ethnicity is unique, we have more than destination.
We are Nigeria, strengthening unity, we know they carry lives. We are Nigeria, together live the dream of a land with great destiny. We are Nigeria.
I am the Real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
All right, if you're just joining us, you've missed the half of it, and this is the second half, if you call it that way, as it's in the football arena. It's conversations, and we're discussing the things to take a look at before I do, and a whole lot has been running around money. We're going to deviate a little bit, move away from money and find out other things. I think that it's important to look at what we call chemistry. If it works, it helps money to also play its own role. And for those of us who are watching from home, I think you should, you can also write in, we'll read out whatever your impressions are about what people should be looking at before saying the I do. You were going to say something?
Yeah, Benjamin spoke brilliantly on behalf of young men who are yet to marry. And who I think are anticipating marriage. And there's something I wanted to clear up when you spoke about the bride price and all the obligations that go with it. I don't know what happens in other cultures, but in Tiv culture, that thing is a wish list.
Wish list?
Yes. Yes.
So it's not real?
If you take it literally, that's your business. They are hoping that you even bring half. The list they gave my husband, when they finished, the money they sent me can't pay on top of my head because already my master's, they said he should bring 1.5 million.
Because
that was that time. By this time, my parents were had both passed on, and so it was my uncles. And I already knew, because my dad and I used to talk a lot, I knew that that was not his mindset. I knew if he were alive, he wouldn't be putting that kind of money on my head. And I knew he was always telling his brothers, listen, in the event I pass on and you guys have to play this role on my behalf, I don't want you selling my child off as if she's, you understand? So he was always very firm with that. So,
you know, so in Abriba culture, I think everybody should come in there and look for a wife, because no matter who you are, your bride price is just 7 naira. If you don't go to university,
So what about
it's 6
you know,
naira.
other things besides the
It,
private
like
show?
she said, is wish lists, and there's really nothing serious in the list. So it's everything that is added to it. It's according to your fancy as a man, according to your love for the girl and the family.
I think
I
just
no, there's a purpose to that, because we say that a girl is not a goat, even though they all have GG. So we're not selling our children. And it's as low as that, because if I come into your home as a wife and you mismanage me, the smallest person in the house can always come back and take their sister back home without fear of a huge bride price.
I guess yours is different.
let me just quickly
think yours is
wrap this up
different.
for the benefit of young people who... So, you will see that list. You are meant to buy 50 wrappers for the mother of the bride, 30,000 wrappers for the remaining women in the community, 19,000 sacks of salt. It's a wish list. You do what you can. Hang on, I'm talking of thief culture. I don't know what happens in other cultures.
All right, better.
You will come, because they say that you never complete, you never finish paying the bride price. So what you can bring now, they will collect it. They will give you wife. They want to show, they want to see that you are even committed at all. That is why they do so many annoying things. A lot of annoying things are done to you on that day. They want to test your temperament. They want to test your capacity to look after their daughter and everything. But it doesn't follow that if that wish list is up to 5 million, you're going to spend 5 million. You can spend 200,000 and they'll collect
about
it.
what you should look for.
So don't be scared by
And
that.
other things I would also talk about, things like friendship.
Okay.
Can you laugh together? Can you laugh at each other? I think that laughing
At your
at each other,
stupidity.
yes, it's so important. You know, can you laugh with each other? You know, because sometimes you might be laughing at each other, and that person's like, you know, but when you can just laugh together, you know, and then he talked about caring. Can you cry together? You know, can you actually? He talked about, can she feel what I'm feeling? Our
It's
emotions. Yes, it's that's what I'm saying. It's 2 ways. Whatever I'm saying, it's both of you together.
Okay.
Because when he said, I said, productivity, provision, and protection. For both of you. You know, even as most of the time it hinges on the man for those protection, provision, and productivity. But what I was saying is that, can you help her be more productive? Will she help you be more productive? Because sometimes, you know, some men come up with that. Now, since I married that woman, my money just finished, or something, things like that. Most of the time, you don't really hear women saying, when I married him, nothing really happened to me or for me. Because most of the times they go into marriage and they don't even do any work anyway. So you have to be friends with who you're getting married to. If you're looking at money, guess what? You will get into that house, you'll be crying every day. Because he will give you the money. But you will not be happy.
Yeah.
You can't laugh. You can't talk. You can't tell him, oh boy, how far now? That language is not even there. Because he'll probably tell you you are rude.
All right, so it's just like what I watched yesterday. Devon is laughing because we watched that story together. It was actually a pastor, and he gets on my nerves. And like I was telling her yesterday, I cannot attend. I can't bear these kind of pastors or men of God, whatever they find themselves. He was telling somebody that
He was telling the congregation.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. I think you should take it off me.
This person was telling his congregation that
Sorry.
if your
You can have a
wife...
bit of water.
Oh, sorry. Do you need water?
Yes, please. There's a glass there too. There's a glass.
Sorry.
No problem.
Thank you. All right, go ahead, Devon.
So, he was telling the congregation that if your wife uses certain terms of endearment, like baby, he was specific about baby, that she's suggesting that you are a child and she will treat you as
Like
such.
a child.
She will rob you of your authority as a man in the home. So he wasn't talking the way I'm talking right now. He was talking with vehemence, anger, disgust, contempt, and literally ordering the men in the congregation not to take that because this, that, and the next. And the thing is, I saw this on social media, and when I went through the comments, many men were saying, no, my wife calls me baby and I like it. So I was glad that there was a bit of pushback, but that was on social media. The people that were actually sitting in that congregation,
did they buy that?
Did they counter it in their mind? They will take that and go and apply it at home because it came out of a pastor's mouth. Pastor quote unquote.
He actually said that you should be a lord it on your wife.
Yeah, that you are your wife's lord and master. You are her God. He used that word. You are her God. You are her this. Now, in the Christian context, your husband is your lord and master. Yeah.
The head.
But he's the head of the home, but he's meant to exercise his authority from a place of deep love. Not from a place of dictatorship. And that's where men begin to struggle. How to convey authority without coming off as cruel. On that same social media, was it last week, there was a video of a man beating his wife for 4 hours.
For 6 hours.
Some say it's 4 hours, some say it's 6 hours. I don't know which one it was.
It wasn't like you were repeating
Whatever the wife did, I don't know what it was she did. Maybe you came in and met her with another man or something. Kick her out. Just tell her to pack her load and go.
Leave.
Just tell her to leave. Why are you beating anybody for 4 to 6 hours? If it's not because you are taking some pleasure in what you are doing.
Clearly.
Anyway, I don't advocate violence, but I know how.
See, before, you see, I don't know, I think we're missing it. The pastors these days are not doing what they sent them to do. So they keep interfering where they are not supposed to interfere. What is his business?
In beating.
No, what is his business in baby? No, hello. So can you imagine the wife in the house?
And he was giving an example with his wife,
That's
how
what I'm
he
saying.
does this, how she starts
and you
it,
see
and he
the-
did
and you
it.
see this
Have
is
somebody in the congregation.
Yes,
Shebi, you know that
exactly.
try
Yes.
it. And you know how I handle that.
No, that's what I said.
People
No,
there.
I
was
mean, in his
talking to
congregation, not
congregation.
something. And they're very happy listening.
yeah. So you see,
To
this
follow
is,
his
so this is what I say.
lead.
What is it you are listening to? Who are your mentors or mentees, or how do you call it? Because I would rather learn from my parents. What is wrong in saying baby? That's why sometimes when I see some women say daddy for what? He's not a daddy.
It's,
But that's also culture, though. That's different.
That's the
That's
thing
culture.
in Nigeria. Culture, where you are from, there are some people, you give them water, you kneel down. You carry the water, you are kneeling down. You are cooking, you give them the food, you are kneeling down.
You're answering their call.
Everything,
You're
you are
kneeling
kneeling
down.
down. And you know, they say is respect. Let me tell you, I can do all that. And
No, exactly.
I will not respect. It's not
Exactly.
respect. For me,
That's
it's
what
not
I'm saying.
respect.
It's fear.
Yeah, it's
It's, but you
It's
see,
fear.
the thing here is, that is why we're having a lot of problems right now because of broadcast and the social media. Because sometimes I sit there and I'm wondering, as a lady said, if her husband slaps her, that means she misbehaved and it's okay.
Oh dear.
I think we touched on this last
Okay,
week.
so
So that's why I say marry your friend.
marry
If
your
you are going
friend.
to marry your friend, you will
So-
not be doing all this.
While you're going to, taking on that, I also wanted to look at something for me. You know, when you are getting married, like you say already, if it's in the Catholic Church and several other churches I know, I don't know what happens in other religion, there is a lot of counseling, you know, and I don't know if you have gone through it, if you have reached that stage anyway. So if you haven't, and you step in there, what are your expectations from such counseling?
Okay, so first of all, I want to speak about marrying your friend and marrying your friend and respect, as it has been called before now. if I marry my friend, certainly I will respect you and I will ensure that's where protection comes into place. So certainly if I marry my friend, why should I push towards seeing her being battered, or maybe even go beyond just beating and all that? And the other component of even pushing him to molestation. Yeah. So I don't see where you marry your friend and then push yourself towards battering and all the rest. And then the other component of it, where you marry your friend, empathy comes into place. Empathy, I don't know if maybe, I think most of the counseling, adding to the question you asked me, counseling should do more of teaching people how to be empathic. Most times you see people, if I have money, whether you're bringing it towards the financial obligation, you're bringing it to my weakness as a man, or you're bringing it to where we have to compromise and understand each other. Understanding, to me, is one of the reasons why you see a lot of marriages are broken today. Most people just choose not to understand themselves. They just choose not to understand themselves. They are just like in relationships. Basic things that you can just sit down and say, please, this is my perspective. Understand me. This is your perspective. I understand you. Where can we come to compromise? Okay. People fail to do that. A lot of things that should not even reach to even having issues.
Because many marriages are arranged.
So that's part of it.
Whether it's arranged, whether it's arranged or not, I think that
marriages that are working, some based on love that have collapsed.
Okay, so whether it's arranged or not, it's good for you to have that conversations before you say the I do. I mean, for me, the conversation is long, is detailed, and I want to marry. I'm already asking my questions.
It's deep.
One of the questions I'm going to ask, anyway, I'll say all the questions that will be on my mind. One of the questions I will ask will be, are you HIV positive or negative? You'll be alarmed, but it's important.
No, it's not even
I'm not only asking you, I will ask you HIV, I'll ask you genotype.
It's your genotype.
And before
HIV matters more because that one is infectious.
Then before when you go to the church,
to think of your child.
You should think about asking those questions, and then going beyond asking, run tests. Run fertility tests, and if it's not reversible, know what you're going into.
But some people don't mind.
Run your HIV test. If it's positive, it's your choice if you still want to continue. Run your genotype, so that whatever you're going to do, I'm not saying if it's positive or negative, don't do it. Let it be that you know what you're going into. I ask questions, really. I'm going to ask real deep down to find out if you have money enough to, do a lot of things. I'm going to ask you a relationship with soap and water. Some men don't like to bath. It's true. Some ladies too don't like to wash their hair. So I'll ask, those are tiny things you may not understand.
You don't expect somebody to tell you, I don't like taking your bath. I think this is something that you will observe.
Yes, so
that's what I do. Yeah. Yes. You observe. And within a week of hanging around somebody, I can tell whether they are clean or dirty.
I'm going to ask you those questions. It may not come out literally the way it is, but I'm going to find out those details. If you're a dirty person and you're a very clean person, you say, okay, the man, I will help him change. It doesn't change.
Liz, but let me tell you, I had an experience where the guy liked to fart.
Oh, my.
And,
oh, no.
And I couldn't handle it. Sorry. And he just thought I was such a proud, cocky woman. And I'm like, he says, if you love me,
you take it.
You're supposed to take it because I'm farting. And I just think people are sick.
No, that's
so. I think people now, part of what you've just mentioned, people express themselves differently. And
farting.
Yeah, sure. I heard where, in fact, not just heard, we've seen there were trends that you should be, where sometimes I think 2020, post-COVID, where the issues that came with staying at home. You saw all the battering, all the violence that came to all these issues you've been mentioned with. And where people started expressing themselves saying, if you can't take me like this, at least post-COVID gave us the opportunity to know your partner for who he or she is. So it came up with the fact that you have to understand, you have to stay at home, stay put with that person for the whole of that period. You must know whether you like it or not, whether he likes water or soap or not.
It's important.
That's the period. Those dirty bad habits, those short-term bad habits that you've not had a very long time to stay with. Most most couples, that was the first time they were staying with their partners since they got married. Yeah, and that gave a very beautiful opportunity for us young people also to learn. That's where I came up with the thoughts of, for me, I can't settle with someone that we are not on the same reasoning wavelength. Which is very important.
You need time to know yourself. That's a very important thing. These are things we were talking about, both of you are talking about marriage counseling. Some people meet themselves, I just see, I know I'm going to marry. And then you start planning
desperation.
Marriage. But just, but sometimes it might just be, they think they fell in love at first sight. It happens. But you give yourself time to know each other. And this marriage counseling thing you said, every religion, I believe, does it. It's so important and so key. Because you hear things, you probably, even if you dated yourself for 5 years, you go into that marriage counseling, they will tell you some things that you think, I can't take this. But you've dated already. It's so necessary. Can you talk to yourselves? Some people can't talk. Nowadays.
Many women don't know how
they talk on phone. But you can't talk in front of each other.
Very important.
In fact, when you made mention of where you have to ask questions, so there's a current trend these days, most especially now. That's where the issue that comes with money, in terms of relationship. I will give you two perspectives now. First of all, imagine because I'm comfortable and you feel I'm comfortable and I can provide for you whatever it is. So now mentally, that's where I started speaking about wavelength, being on the same reasoning wavelength. You now become either a slave to my thoughts or whatsoever I say remains. So I ask you a question, you say whatever I like. I ask you a question, and at the end of the day, sometimes you just say it's
when
okay.
When not coming to America.
Yeah. So imagine.
They do that
actually, that's
when they want to get into the house.
So that's the problem now. At the end of the day, you discover this person cannot even reason for herself. Whatever she wants to do, she must.
She can't. She's just looking for something.
She wants to enter.
Yes, because
she just want, okay, a lot of people are writing in. Let's see the much we can accommodate from our online discussants. It says, I think it is necessary to get the meaning and purpose of marriage before going into it. A lot of marriages crash because people have full orientation. You didn't tell us your name, but all the same, that's a beautiful, write-up. Good morning, and NTA. My name is Ume Ikenna from Ebonyi State. Presenter, what Devon Mom is saying is 100% right. Her thoughts will motivate those that are not yet married. Thanks. Okay, again, okay, you're writing from Ebonyi State. Thank you very much, Ume Ikenna. And this one says, how are you all? Another one says, the problem is most ladies want a ready-made home. They don't want to struggle and build a home with their husband. For the guys, most of them are running away from responsibilities. That's why there are so many unmarried people out there. Well, responsibilities is not the finish. So don't run, face it. Most young people now should understand each other's need and believe in themselves, and knowing well marriage is all about their future well-being. We've seen a situation where the wife is a graduate before getting married to a man who later upgraded himself education, and that's nice, and later became governor. Oh, Augustine from Lagos State. Governor of which state, if I may ask? It's important. All right, good morning, Precious Erubo from Iru Egbede, Edo State. Yes, and for me, one is supposed to get married to their friends. With this, they are able to understand themselves and tolerance come in, and finally, love. Now, my question again is, between love, trust, and understanding, which should be the forefront in marriage? Let me just start with Devon.
I would say love, because if there's genuine love between two of you, it tends to cover the other two as well. Okay. And I'll also use this opportunity to say it's okay to stay single.
Okay.
Marriage is not compulsory. I don't know of other faiths, but in the Christian faith, marriage is not compulsory. If you go to 1 Corinthians chapter 7, where St. Paul really addresses these things, he breaks it down. He keeps saying, I wish more of you could be like me.
Not married.
And not marry. But if you know you will not be able to contain your body, it's best you marry so that you have one partner that you are involved with and doing these things. All of these things are broken down in that chapter 7 of Corinthians. So it is perfectly okay to stay single if you know you will not fall into lustful ways. Because over time, there used to be a time when I would be in shock when somebody genuinely doesn't want to be married. I'd be so stunned. Don't you want your companion for life? But life has taught me that it's not everybody that can handle marriage. In the Catholic tradition, marriage is a sacrament. I think of marriage as a vocation. It requires self-sacrifice on both sides. It requires compromise on both sides for it to be successful. Now, I feel that up to 60% of divorces are the result of at least one person who is not ordinarily ordained for marriage. At the first hint of trouble, that person is ready to leave. It doesn't have to be anything deep or dark. First hint of inconvenience, the person will go out and do something really horrible and bad. First thing, they cannot. There are people who don't even want to have kids, male and female alike.
True.
They only have children because they see it as an obligation.
But
the way they treat those children subsequently, you realize that, and sometimes they are the ones that have the most kids. No, seriously, they will either neglect them completely. The emotional care is not there. So I am saying that if in your soul you know you don't have what it takes to accommodate your fellow human being in marriage, don't force yourself.
Okay, so growing up, when I was getting married, that was several years back, my auntie, who is late, told me clearly that I should avoid third party.
True.
You know, if I have issue, I should ensure that it does not, meet the daybreak. I should ensure that the pillowcase and the bed sheets become the judge and the jury between me and my husband. And I should ensure that my room is strictly for a dressing room, while his room is strictly for sleeping, because that way you remove divide between you and your husband. And I think it worked. I don't know. And then it went a long way, because I recall when I had a little challenge, and I didn't want to tell anybody. My mom was really wanting to know what's going on. And then at the point when she asked me, I said, "You people told me not to talk to you about my husband. I'm not talking to you." And she felt, "Can't you?" I said, "No, I'm going to tell his mom. Then he cannot tell you." And we swap it that way, and it kind of worked. What's your take on that, Coach?
Actually,
Yes, worked.
so it works for you.
Yes.
Right. It may work for some other people, but I because I say that a lot, especially when you're getting married in church and then marriage services, I don't appreciate it. Not that I don't agree. I just don't appreciate it because too many things are happening. They say a problem shared is a problem half solved. Very important that you're matured and you know who you're talking to. So people have different types of friends. You know the one that you're going to say what you're going to say to. Like you said, what your auntie said. So before I got married, my husband would tell me, if we have a misunderstanding or I am the one that's always getting angry, he just face me. So if you like, don't solve that problem from morning till night. From night till morning rather. You'll be looking at that same face. Some days, you want to get angry and push him off the bed, but you can't. You'll be there. Face me. So yes, that is good for us to settle our problems. But sometimes it's eating you up, or there's some things you're going through. You just need somebody. I have a pastor friend, a lady who said to me, I asked her, when you are this, what do you do? Like if you want to, you're going through. She said, I enter my car. I drive very far to my friend's house. We sit down. We just talk about it. Talking is very good. You understand? Say something. Don't die in silence. So I'm sorry, they say that all the time. So just be very careful. Pray about it. There's nothing that prayer cannot solve. Honestly, there's nothing that prayer can lead you to who you talk to, because you might not really get what you want to hear from when you pray. But it can lead you to who you should say what you want to say to, and that will help you heal. So whoever, it might be something that you can just say, and the person will tell you, are you serious? Is that what he did? So that's what's wrong with you. I mean, I've had friends that told me, Jokuma, really? Even yourself? Why did you do that? Do you understand? So then it solves the problem as opposed to sitting down there in silence, then maybe somebody's knocking your head, or he said, don't eat food today. Or it might be the other way around. Maybe it's the lady that is even being mean to the man. You know?
I don't believe in being quiet. I always used to say that I like referrals. And like we're talking about before I say I do. I hate it when I meet a man that nobody knows anything about. That's already a bad signal for me. There must be somebody that knows this person.
Check.
And I feel that,
Background check.
like you said, look for some. I don't believe in pastor. I will not go to any pastor. Because, you know, they always sit down there, they are quoting the Bible and all that. No. I'll look for one friend that I have that tells me. You see, the problem with most of us is that we don't like friends who tell us the truth.
Exactly.
We always like the ones that tell you what you want to hear. So look for that friend that will look at you in the face. I'm not married, but most of my friends who are married, they always say experience is the best teacher. But I don't think so anymore. You understand?
Believe that
and they come and meet me and I say, see, you know I'm outside. I don't want you to come and meet me outside. But you know what? See, you know your husband. This is the way he is. Talk with him.
Okay. All right. So our time is almost not ours, but let me take briefly with you and get to find out your advice to your colleagues, young men who are not married.
Young men and young women.
First of all, the 3 P's, we've already discussed about that, and I will advise reasonable young men and women to be productive. Productivity is key, 1. There's a part where love might not be able to work all the way for you, and there's a part where empathy will come in, as well as where you need to be smart and matured enough to stand in as a man and as a young woman. So importantly, it's also good for us to know ourselves. Very importantly, understand yourselves, understand your values. The values are very important. Most relationship these days ends up in quagmire because of the fact that people are not even interested in learning from each other's values. Are your values aligning with my values? Are your thoughts my thoughts? If they are not, is there a room for compromise? If they are not, you still see fine people who don't measure up with that are still pushing in for marriage. At the end of the day, what happens? So mine is just to advise young gentlemen and ladies out there to be proactive.
Okay. So a young girl said, somebody was asked her, what are you bringing to the table in this marriage? And she said, I'm a baby girl. I am the table. I don't bring anything. So on that strength, what's your own advice?
Well, I would say that I still feel that each person in the marriage should bring 100% of their best efforts. Don't do only 60 or 70% because you're waiting for the other person to come and fill this part. You went to work, I was with the children. So now that you are back, I could have bathed them, but I will leave that one for you to come and do. No. That's what I mean. Okay. The part that you're supposed to do it as fully and as completely as you can on both sides. Okay. And there was this thing I stumbled upon somewhere and it made sense to me. While this matters, you cannot always bring 100% of yourself. Okay. At different points in the marriage, one person does more of the heavy lifting than the other. For one reason or another, yes. Right? It changes with the seasons. So just let's learn to empathize with each other.
All right. Okay, final thoughts?
So what I would say is that respect begets respect, right? So if you want a man that is providing, you want to respect him for he would respect you if you're not providing. What you give you what you get. Do you understand? You give love, you get love. Yes. So all of these things that we're saying, she said 100%. I guess 100%, but it's still 50-50 somewhere. It's halfway through, everybody comes through. For me, I come for you, and then you come talk.
Okay. So, good morning. My name is Folashade Stella from Oyo State. I think every relationship should be based on understanding each other. Also, try to get married to someone that is well matured and a responsible man who can provide for his family. Also, communication attention is very important in every relationship. You're going to say a word?
Yeah. Religion and culture is very important.
Okay.
In marriage.
All right. It's important that whatever you choose to do, whether married or single, do it because that's what you want, not because someone says so. It's your life. Yeah. And I tell you, whichever one you choose is all sweet. And I don't know about 50-50, but do you know this song about not 70-40?
70-40?
Not 60-40. Talk about 50-50 love.
Ain't no 50-50 love.
Ain't no 50-50 love.
Was that